And he says in Colossians 2:16 and 17, and verse 17, he says, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is Christ. And I thought to myself that sometimes, just sometimes, we get so caught up in the shadow that we miss the substance. Coming into the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I always hear, make sure that you guard the edge. But I always ask, so what about the middle? Always guarding the edge. Sometimes we get caught up in the shadow when God intended that these special appointments should help us to meet with Jesus. The Sabbath is about Christ. And of course, I plan to preach about the Sabbath, even though we are all Seventh-day Adventists. And it's part of what we understand to which God is calling us. But sometimes, of course, sometimes, we begin to live in the shadow when God wants us to experience the substance. And Paul says in verse 17, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is Christ. According to Paul, these feasts, of course, as I mentioned, were not reality, but the shadow. Real relationship begins when we are able to understand the shadow and the substance, and how the shadow provides an opportunity. God gives us many symbols about many things, but those symbols are just what they are, symbols of something else. What is that something else? And sometimes a lot of battles in the church go on in the shadows, but we are not talking about the substance. But I've come today to talk a little bit about the substance.